GM, welcome back to the 11:11 show. And incredible week coming up for international football. I'm excited to be here a couple of days after the Mivits anniversary, which was a blast, and we'll jump right into it. But first, Hunter, how are you doing today, bro?
Doing good. GM, new week, big week for football, big previous week for me bits. So yeah, it's just good.
It's gonna be a big week for Mivits every week from now till July 18th, I gotta say. With our Mivits football full initiative launching towards the end of this month, but we'll be doing a lot of fun teases and uniform reveals and details like that over the next couple of weeks to get everybody excited and ready to go. I just actually posted earlier today the picture. We just got the keys late last week to our new studio where we'll be shooting this live stream, the Mivets football show, on a daily basis during the group stage of the World Cup. We have a pretty cool co-hostess coming to New York to join the team. And yeah, a lot of really fun opportunities to engage with Mivits, Mivits football, win prizes, just really take the World Cup experience to the next level. And we'll kick off with our football fiesta at NFC Conference in Lisbon on June 5th. That will be our Mivits brunch, will be fiesta themed, and we'll have a lot of cool stuff, just like we did last weekend with the fifth anniversary celebration that we hosted at Saturday's Football with Matt and John of Larva Labs. I'm sorry you couldn't make it. I know you were busy out there, but what was your impressions from a distance this time around?
Oh, it looked amazing. Obviously the venue was nice and fitting. You got the swag on your head. Maybe you get a little show off of the swag. Um, no, yeah, it looked amazing. I mean, I had people DMing me like, "Bro, this event was so good. Missed you." Like longtime Meebs that obviously live in New York and stuff, um, and then Adam had the dinner as well. Like yeah, it just looked great. People were posting. I was who was it? It was Mason that posted the jersey, the Mexico jersey, which
Yep,
was awesome to see. So yeah, I mean, you know, I feel like every event we have, we crush it. So
love it. That's the plan. We Meetups are like, I think, a fun group of people who like art, who like the convergence of the intersection of art, identity, community, and technology. If you think about the four pillars that we set out when we created MeepCo, which is art and provenance, fun utility, community first, and tech innovation, the really easy way to distill those to simple concepts are, Meetups live at the intersection of art, community, identity, and technology. And I feel like sport, specifically football, lives precisely at that intersection of identity, community, and technology. And so we're bringing the art in with what we're building. And obviously, folks got a small preview of that with Group One football collectibles, which are available in secondary and OpenSea. We obviously have a lot more coming in that regard. But we also have the jerseys that we gave away at the anniversary event. We have some cool jerseys also coming up for Lisbon and later on. We made this very limited special edition hats that you were just mentioning. These are not for sale. We made just a handful of them for our strongest, biggest supporters this year, and it's a way for us to reward people that do it and have just made a big difference for me. But it's obviously a lot of people have supported us along the way, and we're thankful for the support and hopefully delivering for them. But there's definitely always those people like obviously the team at One Confirmation who funded MIPCO and have been there every single step of the way, supporting us and backing us on everything that we do and so on. So yeah, our Discord moderators also getting a hat each. And then yeah, more fun surprises. I don't want to spoil it, but I'm really excited now that we got the anniversary stuff down. I think it was a really good time. Obviously, we hosted it at Saturday's Football. If you saw the pictures, somebody was like, "Oh, it looks like somebody's living room." Saturday's Football is one of the best vintage soccer stores in the world. They have locations in LA, in New York. They're doing pop-ups in Philadelphia and DC over the next coming weeks. They'll be in Japan. They just had one in Boston. It's a really cool community. Actually, some of the community came out. They were there with us. They're really engaged, learning about Meebits. Really excited for Meebits football. So it's a really good way, to start testing our thesis of, me with football is a good bridge to that world of sport, football, community identity. I think if you think about, traits, Meebits and their traits and all the cool things that Matt and John put into the collection with the shirts and the jackets and the pants and the prints, this way of, kind of like signaling to the world who you are, not just individually, but also which community you belong to. And obviously, Matt and John gave a 1 hour presentation and they sent 78 slides. I was like, whoa, this is super exciting. We'll put those online at some point over the next couple of weeks so people can catch up on that. But just the parallels to soccer uniforms and being part of a fan base and being part of a team are tremendous. So we're excited. We're excited for what maybe it's football is going to bring to the table, and we're looking forward to having fun with you guys in Lisbon, in New York, and anywhere else that we might end up doing stuff for it. But yeah, what did you do this weekend?
Uh, Man, it's sports season, so I have a little boy, obviously, so I'm the basketball coach and the soccer coach. So usually on the weekends we're at soccer games and basketball games and doing that. So we're in that season of life, I guess, which is crazy to think. I feel like I'm not that old, but I guess I am. But it's fun. Like it's fun to see my little boy starting to like. He actually really likes soccer, which is funny. Like I didn't play soccer growing up, but um, I mean they're still at the age where it's just like a pack of rats chasing a ball, you know. But it's fun. They score and they get all hyped, you know, and they like high five each other, and so that's pretty much my weekends for the next 6 weeks is just coaching soccer and basketball. So
Oh, that's awesome. There's the Sports Monkeys project. They were out there, also Meet holders, and yeah, their group chat is all like kids sports out here in New York, which is really cool to see. So amazing, man. All right, well, shall we jump into what do you want to talk about first? We got a lot of things to talk about. Obviously, second leg of the Champions League semis. Last week we had probably one of the best soccer games in history as part of that semi between Bayern and PSG. We also had a monster Messi card sale on Panini blockchain. I just actually got my Panini football stickers for this year. Got my albums. This is a long standing tradition in Mexico to get your stickers. And yeah, I'm excited to rip the packs and start building my album. I know they have a lot of digital things too to go alongside of it, but yeah, what do you want to kick off first? I know you're excited for your team, PSG. So why don't you? Well, we have Harambe Ball, Harambe today with the second leg of that, the other semi. Why don't you kick us off with that?
yeah, so today the game today is Arsenal versus Atleti. Um, Funny enough, it's soccer is just a whole different like thing, right? I, when it comes to like fan base, like it's insane, and that's I think why I like it so much because I'm a hype beast, you know, and I dive into things. But like, there's videos out there. In fact, PMI, our stats guy, had sent us a video over the weekend of the fans in Italy. I think it was after it was AC Milan won the Serie A league, and like I'm almost certain I've been to Milan before. I'm almost certain it's in Duomo Square is where they're at, like in front of the Duomo, and it's just like it's chaos. It's utter chaos, and like so just fun to see. But yeah, the reason I say that is Atleti last night was like launching fireworks, or excuse me, Arsenal fans were launching fireworks, in front of the Atleti hotel, trying to make so their players can't sleep, and like I don't know, it's just it's fun. It's fun to see the rivalry and stuff. But yeah, this is gonna be interesting because like I think Arsenal is obviously heavily favored. Excuse me. Um, but it's essentially tied. Their aggregate is 1-1. Um, it's anybody's match. Like obviously Arsenal is favored to win it, but I'm always pulling for the upset. So I think I want to see Atleti, come through and have some disappointment for Arsenal fans. But Arsenal was looking good over the weekend, which is not good for Atleti. They won 3-0 over the weekend. Not
In the Premier.
surprisingly, Gyökeres was looking really good. They'll need him to look good again. We can confirm he will be in the World Cup. We made a little mistake last week, but
No, I'd say I loan it. I fucked up. It was my mistake. It's okay. You don't have to jump in a grenade for me. I appreciate it. You're a great teammate, but it was my fuck up.
so yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think, I mean, it's today's match. I'm pulling for Atleti, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. No, I think you nailed it, right? Like Arsenal had a bit of a rough patch in tournament in league play, so EPL. They had been the heavy favorites to win that league, but they hit a bit of a rough patch and they came under pressure. But now, Manchester City drew 3-3 with Everton, and I think they're like 5 points behind. So Arsenal can breathe a little bit after they won 3-0. And to your point, right? Like they're one of their stars is just back to being a star, and that's always a good sign to build momentum into this second leg. If you want to share my screen, we'll show here the Polymarket odds for the teams to reach the final.
Yep.
One fun fact, as PMI put it, is the two clubs with the most Champions League games played without ever winning the title. So just think about that. They've played the most Champions League games, and remember, Champions League in Europe, you qualify by being one of the top teams in your country league. Then you get invited. So it's like the best of the best. So Arsenal and Atleti are the two clubs with the most games played in the Champions that have never won the title. So yeah, one obviously is the heavy favorite, as you said. Arsenal has got 72%. It's yeah, putting a big move here. And then Atleti, underdog as it comes. Interesting setup. The overall championship odds have kind of like remained very, very steady, with PSG, Arsenal, and Bayern pretty much all 30%, and then the balance for Atleti. I think if you're gonna play Atleti being the underdog, I think you talked about it last week. Maybe you take here a flyer on the championship, because obviously if they make it to the final, their odds are probably gonna shoot up much more higher than what they would by winning this. But anyways, interesting times for sure. I think it's gonna be so just for you guys that might not follow soccer too much. This both teams play in a way where it's just not as flashy as the other two teams that we'll talk about here in a second. And people have been calling this haram ball, just because obviously the 1-1 game on the first leg was just two PKs pretty much. But yeah, one of them will be victorious this afternoon, and then tomorrow we'll find out who they will face in the final in Budapest. And again, as a reminder, the Champions League final is only one match at a neutral site, in this case in Budapest. So yeah, let's move on to that semifinal. You want to kick us off with that match?
Yeah, I think this is the one everybody's looking forward to, right? Like you mentioned at the beginning, like coming off. I mean, for me personally, the craziest soccer game I've ever personally watched. But again, just an insane match in general. So 9 goals scored total in that first leg. I think one thing everybody is looking forward to is the most goals ever scored in a knockout round is 13. So if they can score, if we can get 5 goals in this next match, it'll be 14 goals. It'll be the most goals ever scored in a UCL knockout match. So, which is crazy. I think that's only a little more than half of the goals that was scored in the first leg. So that first leg was just stupid, like just insane. But I think that's what people are looking forward to, is just another high caliber. My guess is just going to be high energy right from the start and whistle. It's just going to be attack, right? But yeah, I mean, Bayern versus PSG. I mean, both teams, I think, were planning on resting their players.
That's what you got to do. It's a huge game coming up.
But I think people are shocked. So over the weekend, Bayern went down 3-0 in a league play game. And they did
Bundesliga.
They did decide to put in their stars, which is, I mean, it's interesting because it's they've already won that league. There's really no point. Like there's no point to it other than obviously like nobody likes to lose.
But maybe they wanted look what happened to shifting a little bit to my San Antonio Spurs last night, right? They ended up losing the first game of the Western Conference semifinals. They had 5 days of rest
Yeah.
versus Minnesota, who had just a couple of days. Um, I don't know. Maybe when you are somebody of the stature of like Harry Kane, Luis Diaz, Michael Elise, like you want to be playing. You don't want to be sitting in the bench. Like I could even get to your head, right? You're like, I don't know. But yeah, pretty excited for tomorrow. Right? That is gentlemen and ladies and everybody watching the stream. That is the game to watch. That is, if we could turn a game into a final, that is probably it. So definitely watch it. Again, we have the Poly market just pretty much coin flip here. Both teams look very strong. Both teams are loaded with stars, and it's a 50-50 odds here for either of them to take it. Home advantage, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. It does play a big role, and this will be played in Germany. So I will give Bayern a slight edge. Obviously, home advantage is not as important as having a goal advantage, with PSG has. And so, one of the things to keep in mind, I think, vis-a-vis their last round for Bayern is that they had an advantage going into the second leg, and they saw at the time Real Madrid score on them real quickly. So if that happens to Bayern again, they will really find themselves on the back foot, which will only lead to a much more aggressive game from their side, and obviously that will open up opportunities for PSG. So it's just watch this game if you can.
Yeah.
Put it on your calendar, and yeah, we'll talk about the result and then the setup into the final.
So
After we
you know football more than I do. If you're the coach of PSG, I mean, you only have a 1 goal lead, which isn't crazy, right? It's not like you're going with a 3 goal lead. What's your game plan? Like, do you go into that saying just defend, or do you go and say no,
no
we're
no
going
no
all out
especially that
attack,
team.
just go score?
No, not allowed. You're just. I think you start the game 0-0.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you used to play, if you were up like 1-0, you would just the coaches, when you're running back to midfield after scoring, they were like 0-0, 0-0, 0-0. You can't fall into the mentality of like we're winning, because it doesn't take much to get scored on again. Actually, I don't know why. Growing up, people used to say 2-0 was the most dangerous kind of like score to be up, because you let your guard down, and then they score one, and you lose momentum, then they tie you. Maybe that was just they were telling us how I played soccer as a kid, young adult, so maybe it's just mental games. But yeah, no, definitely, you just gotta go in 0-0, and like we gotta win the game. I don't think you. So I think Bayern has to be more aggressive. Obviously, you want to get that equalizer early on. Um, that will also give you the momentum. But if you're PSG, you're just playing a 0-0 match again. It's like a final. It's pretty much a final game here. So definitely just going with that mentality, and yeah, you can't protect the. You saw that right on the first leg. Like PSG looked very comfortable. They were up a couple goals, and Bayern just out of nowhere kind of like closed
Starts
that.
firing.
So yeah, 0-0. And yeah, I mean, we're in European soccer. I think a couple of things to highlight for those of you that maybe are not following closely. This is the kind of like the last couple of weeks of league play in the major countries around the world. Um, Obviously, La Liga, which is the Spanish national league, we had that big Panini drop a couple of weeks ago. It's going to be pretty much settled this weekend, when Barcelona and Real Madrid play each other. This is called El Clásico, just a classic. Barcelona and Real Madrid both won. I think Barca has an 11-point advantage with 4 games left. And so the math, the way it works out, they only need to win or draw to be crowned champions. So yeah, and Barca's got like 99% odds on Poly Market. We won't even show them. Just take my word for it. But what happens is, imagine Real losing that game at home. Uh, yeah, they don't want to be. I don't know if it's at home, but anyways, Real doesn't want to be the team that sees Barca lift the trophy. And again, we talked about it the other day. It's not like American sports where the leagues get defined, like you don't get the champion at the end of like some sort of final. The leagues just happen where like mathematically, there are the most number of points, and that can be 5, 6, 7 games before the final match, or it can be on the final match. That can be with you losing a match, and then your closest rival also loses, and so like mathematically they can't catch you anymore. So leagues can definitely be settled that way. Same thing with like Formula One, for example. So interesting there. Keep an eye on El Clasico. That will be good. And I think you mentioned Inter. That's one of the two teams from Milan, the one with blue and black, not the AC Milan, which is red and black. They were crowned Serie A champions after winning 2-0 over Parma. They were last year's Champions League runner-up, and so yeah, it was here. I think this is the image or the video you were talking about earlier, Hunter, as far as their
So pretty.
celebration at the Duomo. Like this is soccer right there for y'all. This is football. Remember when my team Pumas won the championship when I was in college and we're in Mexico City? I mean, it was just this looks small honestly compared to that. It was like we're all in Paseo de la Reforma, which is that street in Mexico. And yeah, that was insane. So expect a lot of that for all you guys that live in Mexico, Canada, and the US, where games will be hosted, specifically in the US, where the majority of the knockout stage matches will be held, because it is going to be a super fun time. Let's maybe switch gears a little bit here to Panini Blockchain, which obviously we've been talking about. We had a good friend Spinotron, one of the top collectors and definitely evangelists for not just the hobby and Panini cards, but also Panini Blockchain. Monster sale of a Messi 8 out of 10 for $86,000. That is 36.57 Ether. That is more than a floor punk. Um, just an insane sale. I think probably a sign of things to come for Panini Blockchain and stuff there. This was the highest sale on the whole platform over the last week, and pretty much beat out this other sale by a lot of a Tom Brady 2021 base Mosaic Genesis. And as you can see here, we have a couple more Messi sales at the top of the week, and then my boy Wemby, as well with some of the top names in sport, Caitlin Clark, Otani, and then just more Messi. Um, if you haven't had the time yet to take a look at Panini Blockchain, we would encourage it. I think it's a lot of fun. I think people talk a lot about like, oh, Pokemon cards are going crazy, like NFTs are next, and yeah, we're hopeful too. But one thing that just strikes me just crazy when I think about Pokemon cards or like Panini, like look at the top sales of the week, right? Like these are like a couple of Ether outside, obviously, of the big Messi sale. And I see that with Pokemon too. Like people are like, "Oh, I just sold this card for $60," and I think that if you think of Amiibo, it's $800. Obviously, like a Punk is $75,000. Like all these other NFTs are in the thousands of dollars. It makes it very difficult. And I feel like, and for people that like to trade and flip and kind of like that, like there's not a lot of opportunities within NFTs. Maybe some good stuff on Ape Chain. I think I just mentioned like sports DeFi and those monkeys and some other cool things. But that's kind of like something we're trying to solve for with Meebits Football. Just a very accessible entry level collectible that is inspired by Meebits IP. I mean, you've seen them already with Group One. People can collect, fill their albums, trade, buy, sell, and then use them as keys to unlock other experiences. Um, so yeah, just pretty excited for that. But yeah, keep an eye on Panini Blockchain. We bought a lot of cards for Meebits as well on there just for future activations. But yeah, and definitely follow Spinotron. Usually don't chill other people's Twitters, but he is just an encyclopedia of knowledge on there, and there's a lot of other good people that yeah, that have come in to NFTs to Panini blockchain that I'm excited to welcome. We had a couple people at the Mivets anniversary event that came in from that ecosystem. That was just pretty cool to see the cross pollination. Again, I think sports sits at that intersection of identity, culture, and then Mivets as well. So pretty good overlap. Um, what else do we have on the agenda for today, Hunter?
I mean, I think we can talk some Meebits football. We got you won't believe it, but we got Diego in the chat begging to see some jerseys. I don't know if that will happen. But
We revealed the Mexico jersey last week, Diego. We appreciate the yeah. It just we we'll reveal the next ones soon. Um, appreciate you tuning in always, though, brother. It really means a lot. But yeah, I think I don't want to give more. I don't want to share more yet. The Mexico jersey. Hopefully, people that got it this weekend start wearing it and posting. I think it's a cool way for them to for people to like see it. It's we love it. We really love it. It features the Mibit skeleton as the base for the art. Obviously, playing homage to the Mexico jerseys of lore, and then obviously this year's jersey.
yeah, I mean, like you said, anniversary is over, and so from now until middle of July, everything is just football, football, football. I'm excited. Obviously, we've been cooking things for the World Cup for Meebits football. We've said it over and over. Like Group 2 is on the cusp. It's like you're about to just have Pandora's box opened. It's been fun. I've actually been rendering a lot of Group 2 stuff, and it's fun. Like when it finishes and I get to see all these outputs. But I'm super excited. I'm super excited for the Group 2 jerseys. Not physical jerseys, Diego. Just I don't want to confuse anybody, but for the Group 2 avatars and the kits that we've, well, Bailey, I have not done any design. I can barely draw stick figures, but yeah, super excited for Group 2 to come out and, like you said, have an accessible collectible for everybody to come and have fun and participate in. And we've got, you know, countless activations and ways that you'll be able to participate with these avatars as well. So
yeah, and remember, Group 1 collectibles, which I'm showing here on screen, are going to be redeemable for 3D prints of them. You can just burn it, and we'll give you a 3D print of it. And then we also have a couple of things out there already. If any of these teams win the cup, you can burn 4 of those for a Meebit. And there'll be a lot more stuff like that coming up when we launch the full collection. Obviously, this all comes with playable other side avatars as well. Other side really catching fire lately, in a good way. Sometimes I say things and then I say them and I'm like, wait, that doesn't sound right. But in a good way, with the Daniel Arsham drop, we had Figgy on the Meebits podcast that is going to be out later this week. I try to ask him a bunch of different questions because we don't like 22 podcasts and spaces this week. So hopefully differentiated. But yeah, so you buy a Group 1 Mivets football collectible, connect your wallet to the other side, and you can run around the other side in your football avatar. We will have the same utility for the rest of the collectibles that are coming later this week. And yeah, if you're going to be in Lisbon, please keep an eye out for the RSVP for our event, our football fiesta. It is going to be a Mivets brunch at a Mexican restaurant at the NFC conference venue, so that we can all just stay there, have a great time. Looking forward to meeting everybody out there in Europe. We'll bring some stuff to give away, and then yeah, maybe we'll do a stream where we open a bag of the Panini stickers. We do have a new studio. I mentioned it earlier. We're going to be doing a live stream every single day and a lot of really cool stuff. If you're not following the Meebits on Instagram, it's a new account at the Meebits. That's where we'll be doing a lot of behind the scenes on the studio, Meebits football, all the content, and so on. So yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in today. Appreciate all the support, all the messages, all the new Meebits over the last couple of weeks with the anniversary. It's been really awesome to see. Remember that every Meebit comes with a bunch of files that you can download for free once you connect to our profile. So here's one of the wallets that I have connected, right? You can go to your profile, click into the Meebit. I think we have the best collector profile. And then you go, oh shit, I did not share my screen before. Oh yeah, I did share my screen, sorry. Um, this is the profile for this Meebit. You can download. We have now 20 files available to folks. So we have all the Larva Labs 3D files, VRM, GLB, FBX, Vox file that we use for create the Vox print files for 3D printing, and then T-pose. We also have game ready 3D files that Yuga made. So it looks, they play better with the Unreal Engine, which obviously is what other sides built in. Every Meebit obviously comes with another side file, and then we have a bunch of images that Larva Labs made, a portrait, the outfit, the shoes, and our anniversary pen plots that they created for every Meebit for our 5th anniversary. You can find them now in your collector profile. You download it. If you want to order a signed print of them, you have literally like 22 hours left. You can order one via meebits.com/print. If you don't have a Meebit, you can still order one of Chris, our director of Vives, which is our really cool pig. I don't have him here, but yeah, you can order one. All of the prints ordered by tomorrow will be signed by Matt and John of Larva Labs. But you can also just download the file and print your Meebit with like an inkjet printer, or just a plotter, whatever. They're your Meebits. You can do whatever you want with them. And then we have more Yuga Labs images, and then other images like the 1.1 poster, an isometric PNG that is really, really cool, and the sprite sheet for any games. We'd love to see more vibe coded Meebit stuff. But yeah, a lot of really cool things coming from Meebits and Meebits football. Obviously, international soccer, great matches today and tomorrow. Champions League, we got La Liga, we got EPL. I mean, time to lock in and have a good time when it comes to soccer. I think that's all I have for today, Hunter. I don't know if there's anything else you'd like to add.
No, I think that's it. I'm super jealous that you did get to see the pen plotter prints in person last weekend. They look freaking incredible. Obviously, I've been downloading all these images and stuff, so I see them on digital, but the prints, I don't think people realize, and maybe you could explain because you've seen them, but like these are drawn by a pen. Like these aren't just printed, like you said, with inkjet. They're drawn.
They're plotted. They're plotted
with
by
a
a pen.
robotic arm essentially that draws it. But when you just see the image, in fact, I think if you go back on the Meebits account a little while back, we tweeted out.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
There's one of the
Yeah,
skeleton, the Lux skeleton, the full hoodie up skeleton, and like to see all the line, like it's just incredible to see the actual close up detail. And like obviously I have mine on its way, and I'm excited. I'm excited to get it framed, hang it up.
Here we go.
So
yeah, that's
cool.
the way these things work. And what was really cool during the presentation that Matt and John gave was they explained, for example, how they like did all the math to how the lines would depict every single color. And once we publish that presentation on the slides, you guys will be able to see it. Unless we want to nerd out right now. Fuck it, let's nerd out right now. I will not do it justice because I am nowhere near smart where Matt and John are. But where is the link? Oh, how about this? I'm just showing shit here because fuck it, why not? Matt and John made this too, and we shared it in the Discord
this is crazy.
and the Twitter group chat. Which if you have a Meebit, you're in the group chat, want to be, just DM Bo or myself will at you. But these are all 20,000 Meebits just flying, or like a flyover of all 20,000 Meebits that they created. They're working on making it a little bit better. But yeah, if you ever wonder what 20,000 Meebits looked like, here they are in their full glory. And then we can like play with them, I think.
Seeing this, it's funny. It reminds me of the early days of you and I in like Tokyo and in Vegas at these trade shows, and people would come up to our booths and be like, "Oh, like these characters are cute," like, and obviously like we'd have a picture of like 5 of them, And like when we would tell people, no, there's 20,000 of these characters, and their jaws would just like hit the floor, and it's crazy to think like 20,000 like individual, call it one of one characters is, I just it's crazy when you actually think about it, right? Like it's seeing it like this really puts it into perspective how many 20,000 Meebits is.
All right, here's the deck that John made for this. John made for this presentation. So yeah, here's a slide showing it.
I'm gonna go full screen.
So these are the plots.
So good.
It's maybe on the left, or kind enough to use it as an example. And the right, you can see this Lux Skelly, I think belongs to Taz, great collector. And you can see like the detail of the line to denote all the different colors and textures. And what they did, this is what I was talking about earlier. All right, yeah, so John explained this, but pretty much is using, depending on the color and where it fits in this 4 square grid, they wrote this algorithm as to like how much hatching they would use to denote that color. So, single hatching being like this, right here. I don't know if you can see my mouse. Anyways, so you think of like my face, my Meebits on the right hand side, my Meebits face, right? So that's obviously just single hatching, and then cross hatching is more stuff like obviously my darker hair, or the color of the thingy right here, or the glasses, the 3D glasses, and so on.
It's
so
cool
they
even
not
to
only
see the three, like your glasses are 3D, and the one lens is different than the other lens. Like you can kind of see a good example of that there.
Yeah, so not only did they go out and create plotter files for each of the 20,000 Meebits, they also created this to like make sure the colors were represented in a way that was different for each color. And there's a lot of colors in the collection. I mean, there's so many traits in the collection. Here are some more examples of a blue camo robot, elephant with a gold chain, hoodie up, pig with a regular camo print pants. And yeah, it's just great to see Matt and John coming back to me. They love Meebits. I don't know. It's just me shilling, but they love Meebits. We had dinner one-on-one, and it was just amazing to hear how much they care about the collection. And obviously, people that were there, right? It was a 78 slide presentation on everything Meebits. I mean, here it is. They talked about the origins of Meebits and like the traits, and when they were all supposed to be pigs. The evolution of like the zombie punk t-shirt, more pigs, why they had the cigarette and they took it away. Big skeleton that we've shown before on our Twitter, the origin of the camo. Obviously, they did this camo gen activation for us at Marfa. We're able to get postcards printed for everybody, individual postcards. So yeah, be on the lookout. We'll publish this once we get the audio all edited. They went back to the origin to talk about the first projects and the games that they built and all that good stuff. Yeah, a lot of really cool things here. I'm just going quickly because I want to tease folks, but I don't want to give it all away until you hear it from Matt and John, because that's really who you should be hearing this presentation from. But anyways, that is all that I have today, Hunter.
Yeah,
are we missing anything?
No, that's it. Big games coming up. One today, one tomorrow. We'll be back Thursday, obviously, to break it all down. And I mean, at that point, it's who's going to Budapest. So
nice. Well, again, thank you all for watching, supporting. If you haven't ordered your prints, you have a little bit of under a day left to order a signed Larva Labs plotter print produced by Meepco, and those will get shipped to you over the next few weeks. And then a month from today, we'll be out in Lisbon. We'll have the Meebits Football Fiesta brunch to celebrate Meebits football, celebrate our anniversary with our European collectors and friends. And then, yeah, Diego, more jerseys coming out, more giveaways, and a lot of more stuff coming from Meebits football. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you Thursday.
See you Thursday.